Hi everyone, I'll be your EBS butterfly mama. I am here to share my journey with EB and to help educate others. Join me in my EB mini-series to learn about EB and for me to share a exciting trial that I'll be going through. I wanted to take a moment to talk about my experience with EB. This is strictly my experience of what I've encountered, along with some of the stories that I've spoke with other families about. For those who don't know, EB, Epidermolysis Bullosa, is a hereditary disorder. There are several different types of EB. In my series, I'm going to be focusing on Epidermolysis Bullosa Simplex. This version of EB means that it is localized, as in you don't get the blisters unless there's friction there. So it seems to be a more manageable type of EB. And what this disorder does is everybody has layers in their skin. The layers in somebody's skin with EB don't necessarily work the same way as others. So you have multiple layers of your skin, and there's proteins that hold these layers together. And what happens with ours is the protein doesn't quite work right. So whenever we walk, instead of our skin going together and working together, our skin rubs and creates extra friction to cause more blisters. I do want to say that I am not a medical professional. This is a very basic understanding. I do encourage anybody to do their own research if they really want to know the nitty-gritty of all of the biology that goes into this. I'm doing this as a perspective of somebody who has lived with it all of their life, and honestly, I have not done research about EB until I was 33, and we'll get into the reason why momentarily. When somebody says that they have EBS, or Epidermolysis Bullosa Simplex, localized, that tends to mean that we get blisters mainly on our feet because we walk a lot, but they can also appear on your hands from writing or shoveling. I've gotten them on my shins or calves from horseback riding, of where the stirrup would rub the shins whenever you go rollerblading or ice skating, where you might not have the proper sock coverage to really help protect your skin. But really it is where the friction is occurring is where blisters happen. Throughout my life, high school, college, even as a young child, I always stayed active in sports. One of the things with our family of growing up with them and my mom growing up with them is we do not let this hold us back. We do what we want to do. It just might be modified a little bit. So I did softball, I did volleyball. The real question is, why didn't I do any type of research until I was about 33 years old? At this point is whenever I had my set of twins, and they are fraternal, and the one twin started showing signs of having EB. I immediately wanted to do more. I was luckily in the Philadelphia region and found that there was an EB clinic, which was unheard of when I was growing up. And I made an appointment with the EB clinic, and I learned more about my disorder than I could have ever done. If I had not had my son, I would have never thought to do this or make changes, just lived with it. Some of the things that I learned is socks do matter, shoes do matter. I know it might sound silly to a lot of you who already know these facts. I talked with the doctor. She would give me a list of things that could help my child whenever he was older. He still wasn't walking a whole bunch. He was just starting to wear shoes. So I took it upon myself to say, all right, if I start testing things out now myself, I can then hopefully help my son later down the line whenever he starts really working and moving and doing all of the things kids like to do. So some of the immediate changes that I made was I changed my socks. Some of the socks and brands that I found very helpful and made a huge difference was merino wool. Merino wool I could find in the Smart Wool brand and in the Bomba Sock brand. He's now 5, so I've been doing this journey for about 4 years of my research and trying to help improve life and mobility for my son. Something that my family members recommended that I didn't use until I had my son was foot goo and run goo. These have been a game changer, super helpful. I have taken him, like I said, to the dermatologist for guidance. When we moved from that Philadelphia clinic to, I'm now in the suburbs of Pittsburgh, I wanted to establish a dermatologist. This way, if anything new came up, we could hear about it, we'll know about it, and I can implement. I like to test on me first. I test out the foot goo on me. I test out the socks on me. I noticed New Balance shoes work best for me. He gets New Balance shoes, things like that, right? I am full on being the guinea pig, anything that will help my son, and ultimately anybody else out there that has EB that's been struggling. So, got him established at a dermatologist here in Pittsburgh. Of course, I called beforehand. Hey, we have Epidermolysis Bullosa Simplex Localized. Are you familiar with it? The reception, oh yeah, we know about it. Of course, I get there and like, oh, this is interesting. We don't really deal with it. But this was the first time where then the doctor referred me to another dermatologist who she said dealt with it. I was skeptical. I didn't really want to go to the dermatologist again. I didn't go to a dermatologist for 33 plus years because pretty much that's the answer you get everywhere you go is, hey, that's cool, there's not much we can do. Here's some prescription needles to help pop the blisters. So I go to this other dermatologist and I was blown away. He was talking about how he has a family, and he's had a couple of families where they've done Botox, and they put the Botox into your feet to help with the sweating. Now I had already implemented using, I call it my deodorant stick for my feet to help with the sweating, because sweating causes socks to stick, socks sticking cause more blisters. And he said it's really helped some of the families. Obviously, small children, my 5-year-old would never get Botox. You can't expect them to understand that a short-term pain will help, prevent things in the immediate future. And again, it's a trial. I said I would absolutely volunteer. I'd love to be a guinea pig. Let's do this. So, as of today, I am finally signed up to be on this Botox treatment trial. Super excited for it. I am hopeful if something as little or as simple as foot goo, run goo could work, what could Botox do? Does it make this even better, easier? It really gives me hope for the future that we're looking into things. We're looking into medicines that have been used for a while now to help us medically feel better and do things and participate in sports, and participate not just in sports, but basic things like walking with your friends, not having to say, oh, it's 90 degrees outside, I don't want to go for a walk because then I will be in pain the next day. I am so excited for this journey. I have not seen anybody else make any videos about their trial going through doing Botox, which is why I am doing this. I have zero experience with using social media videos besides posting pictures of my kids to show them off and what's going on. So I apologize about the quality. I'm sure you might have questions. Thank you so much for your support, and it means a lot that if I could just help one other family, one other person by doing this, let me know. I'm hoping this really does help other people either choose to do certain things or not to do certain things. And I really do thank you all for your support. It does mean a lot to me as I take these next steps. If you have any questions, let me know. But thank you.